ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरो वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमामि विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नामिने गौरतुषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते सत्यकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी तस्मामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धु एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर गोविंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। So we have to begin our session. We begin our discussion with from 7.10 onwards, 9.10 onwards, and let's see how much we could do. These are two 9.10, 9.11, 9.12. They are very stout verses, very important verses. A lot of things has been written by Prabhupada in this purport. We'll see how to go ahead with that. Uh, by the way, we were also discussing yesterday about we ended uh, with that word of udasinvat. Then I'll try to show you something uh, about udasinvat from there. We'll recite that shloka and then we will then, we'll talk about that. Thoda. We'll move ahead. Uh, over here, Krishna says over here very clearly that I am detached from, I'm detached from it. That's why no karma can come to me. While although the process of creation, destructions, maintenance, I do it. न च मां तानि कर्माणि निम् निबन्धन् निबधन्ति धनञ्जय उदासीनवद् आसीनम् आसक्तं तेषु कर्मसु. So I'll try to say about something about Udasinam, and then if you all have any questions regarding yesterday's session, you can talk, you can ask, and then we'll go ahead. So Prabhupada writes over here the translation. O Dhananjay, all this work cannot bind me. I am ever detached from all these material activities, seated as though neutral. So the word neutral is over here considered to be as Udasinam. So Prabhupada himself actually in the last phase of his this purport, he writes about Udasinavad. From here he begins. Huh? Uh, yeah, so he's giving the judge example. He just sits on the bench and he gives the order. Someone is hanged, someone is being put to jail, someone is awarded a huge amount of wealth, but still he is neutral. Udasinavad. He has nothing to do with all gain and loss. So, what does no? So the question was there that uh, uh, judge judge actually. He has he has nothing to do and take with the person. Or the cashier example also we give. You know, the cashier has nothing to do and give and take with the bank, profit and loss. But over here, the Lord, it is his property. How is he so? So how is it so now has been explained over here. Similarly, read through one of you. Similarly, the Lord is always.
Similarly, the Lord is always neutral. Although he has his hand in every sphere of activity, in the Vedanta Sutra it is stated Vaisamya Nargrehni. No. He is not situated in the dualities of this material world. He is transcendental to these dualities, nor he is attached to the creation and annihilation of this material world. The living entities take their different forms in various species of life according to their past deeds, and the Lord doesn't interfere with them.
Nah. So the Lord does everything. He does the creation, he does the annihilation, but he's not attached. No, no, he's not attached means what he is udasinavat, he is yet neutral. One very important line when Vaishamya Nairgrihanyena, when Prabhupada is saying, he's saying he is not situated in the dualities of the material world. He is transcendental to these dualities. So this is a very, very important to be noted over here. Now, what does it mean neutral? Neutral means, you know, see, neutral means what? Even if it is hot or cold, you're the same. No? Same means what? Like some people may know, or okay, take example, success and failure. Some people get success, they become extra elated, extra happy. They will go out and tell the whole world, hey, I got this success, I got this success. And some people will say him, will think about him, he's proud, you know, because he's so much elated. And he's going and telling the world, I got the success. And some people, when they get failure, they go around the world crying. Oh, I got this failure, I got this failure, I got this failure. But whereas there are some people who are neutral, you know, they also get success and failure. They may also have some, they will have some feelings because jivas have feelings. No, they're living being. But what is neutrality in that he remains neutral means he is neither very elated in the happiness, in the success, neither very morose in the failure. He goes on with the life, goes on with his duty, uh, what he is supposed to do. He is not very much elated, and this quality, is very much present in devotees also because the quality of sthita pragya is some similar to these qualities. He is neutral, you know. He is not very much elated with happiness or muddles with failure. He is the dualities of the material world does not affects his duty. Not that like not like that. Some people, if I'm talking about devotees only. Some devotees, may be very happy. May be very happy. Then oh they will chant Hare Krishna. Very they will show extra enthusiasm in devotional life. And when things are not going fine, they are very morose. They they even the basic things, that they may not do, or they may do it very grudgingly. So this is affected by duality. He's not a neutral then. This devotee is not neutral. So same with the Lord being neutral means what? He is not affected by the dualities of this material world. Which dualities? Uh, the dualities of creation and annihilation, and also the duality of the living entity takes their different forms away according to past deeds, and the Lord does not interfere with them. Or the Lord may feel pity on some jivas, because of their foolishness going into a lower species of life, and some jivas, because of their foolishness, they are just happy trying to be in a heavenly world. But the Lord In these dualities, he sees it in the material world, good and bad happening, but he is not affected by it, means he is not interfere with them. He remains neutral to all such situations. This is no, this is what has been said over here. I can show you something also. Now, how it happens, all it is his, yeah, how it will happen, then it is not a very big thing. Even in this material world, even the father and mother has to be neutral, you know. And neutral, they become neutral to the child in a sense that what the child may, after some grown up age, he may do something, and and the and father and mother has to act like a neutral after some time. Neutral in the sense, now it is his life. We have done our part. It is his life. He will now he will decide what he wants to do. Uh, so you know, so this same way the Lord becomes neutral. You know. I'll show you something more on that. What has been said over here. Baldev Vidyabhushan, actually, he says something over here. It is not a very big thing in a sense that yeah, for the Lord to do is not a big thing, but yeah, for normal people is big thing. Uh, Over here, proper writes. See, no, proper. Baldev Vidyabhushan writes. See, over here, right? Uh, previously incurred karma. आपको दिख रहा होगा शायद. One of you can read this one. Read this much, true. One of you.
Previously incurred karmas alone are the causes of different bodies such as deva, human, or animal for these jivas. I am neutral to their unequal karmas, udasinavad. Those karmas cannot attribute to me the fault of injustice. Asakti.
Hmm. So this we have read yesterday also, and right now also, that the Lord becomes neutral to their karmas. No, that's the meaning. Over here also, udasinavad. And because of the karma, the creation, maintenance, annihilation keeps on happening. Then he says, the author of Vedanta, read this also. The author of the Vedanta.
Vedanta says Vaishtamya Nairsbrihane Na Stap Tathahi Dashayati. The Lord has no partiality or cruelty, because the pleasure and pain suffered by the living beings is caused by their karmas. So the scriptures declare, since
Huh.
complete neutrality would forbid any sense of doership to the Lord says, He is as if neutral.
Yes, udasinavad. So as if neutral, and he has no partiality or cruelty, no pleasure and pain. No, he does not acts on these things. And the living being caused by their karma, whatever this, he doesn't interferes into it to their free will. He maintains his duty, although it is not that he doesn't have feeling, right? No? And that's why the word is said as if neutral, right? No? Udasinavad, as if udasinavad. No, so if I had been completely udasin, then probably he would have just turned around his face toward the material world and let go them whatever they wish to. Not like that. He's not like that. He's not like that. But yeah, he is neutral in the sense he does his duty, as being the loving father of all the jivas. He tries to bring them back by sending, but he does not on the seeing the pitiable situation of his living beings. He does not breaks his laws or duty in terms of interfering into the free will of the jivas. You know? He maintains, although the jivas are very dear to him, but he does not interferes directly into that he into the free will of the jivas. Uh, that's although he can do it, but he does not. That is his pro. He has. That's why he said. Among all the odds, the person who maintains his duty, he maintains his dutyship. He does his duty without being affected by success, failure, hot, cold, whatsoever. He is considered to be neutral. So the Lord same way remains as neutral. You know, only if somebody starts showing symptoms of trying to be a sincere devotee, he surely interferes into it. If he would have been completely neutral to this world, probably he would have never, he would have never sent anybody, he would have never come to this world. Maro jo marna hai. But it's not like that. In fact, any jiva starts praying to Krishna from this material world, from the material world, he becomes attentive. He becomes attentive to his every prayer that he's performing. Uh, Gajendra, so attentive he was, to the prayers of the Gajendra, to the call of the Gajendra. Then so many examples we see. So it is not that, and even in fact we are calling out the name of the Lord, and we are seeing a change happening in our life. How is it so? Because the Lord becomes attentive to the degree we are sincere enough in our call. So he's not completely udasin, but yeah, he is udasin till the point, he remains neutral till the point the jiva by his own will does not engages himself in the service of the Lord. That's what I would say about udasin one. And I'll not much speak now. So you have any questions on this? Anybody? You can ask something. Else we'll go ahead to this.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for your explanation. Prabhuji, I just have one question. In this world, many people dies, but we remain neutral to their birth and death. But when somebody close to us dies, then this neutrality breaks. It means neutrality is proportionate to detachment. The more we are detached from a particular phenomena, the more will be neutral. So this is one type of neutrality. And another type of neutrality comes when one takes shelter of Lord, because then one will see everything in relation to the Lord. Then also he will be neutral. So, Prabhuji, what is the difference between these two neutralities? And is it that the first neutrality is temporary phenomena? Is because it is just related to detachment, it will go away with time. That neutrality also. But the neutrality which is coming from shelter of Lord will be permanent. Is it right, Prabhuji?
Yeah, right. Surely right. These Mayavadis people, they become detached to the material world. In fact, then finally their proper rights, they will come to philanthropic work. Right. Because their detachment is not actually, bhakti is not what tyag, right? So tyag is something which is dry. Uh, uh, so Mayavadis, that's what happens to them. They come back to the, all they say, Jagat Mithya, but they start doing, philanthropic work in the Jagat itself. Right. So that's temporary. That is truth. Whereas a devotee, when he his understanding of the material world and his renunciation is very different. His renunciation is that everything is for the Lord, nothing for me. That is his renunciation. So he sees everything in context with the Lord, in relation to the Lord, in service of the Lord. That's why he can. And he sees every jiva is connected to the Lord. So he remains quite, and still emotions will be there, even with the devotee. But he will remain fixed. That is why some one word is very important for all of us to know. While we are acting in this world, either in the realm of devotional service or in a normal duties of the life, one has to have a renounced temperament. This word, not temperament, renounced temperament is very important. If you don't have a renounced temperament, then then fixity in bhajan can't come. The renounced temperament is something very important word one has to have. Temperament, I'm saying. And one should know when that temperament has to be accessed. Uh, That's why I gave it initially. The father and mother, after some time when the child grows up, they have to have renounced temperament. It's not that they are completely renounced from the child. They feel the pain and pleasures and of pains if the child is making something abrupt decisions. But now they should have renounced temperament. You understand now? This word is very important. Renounced temperament. Okay. So
Yes,
let's
Prabhu.
move ahead. Any more, bro? I have to go ahead. Good. We don't have. Let's move ahead. God knows how much we'll be able today. 9.10. So Krishna now is saying, हम्म, उदासीनवत के बोलने के बाद भगवान क्या बोल रहे हैं? बड़ा मजेदार बोले हैं, ये सब मेरा ही है, सब मेरे अध्यक्षता में होता है, भले ही मैं उदासीनवद हूँ, but मेरा ही है सब कुछ. Now he says, मया अध्यक्षेन प्रकृति सूयते सचराचरम् हेतुनानेन कौन्तेय जगत् विपरिवर्तते. पढ़िए.
This material nature, which is one of my energies, is working under my direction. O son of Kunti, producing all moving and non-living beings. Non-moving beings. Under its rule, this manifestation is created and annihilated again and again.
हाँ. So he has said very clearly over here that these material, everything in this, in this acts, every maya dakshena prakriti suyate sacharacha hetu anena kaunteya. There is no other reason. I am the only reason. O Kunti, son of Kunti, Jagat the Viprivartate, the cosmic manifestation works, annihilates, maintained, created, everything is under me. No other reason. There's no other reason for its movement, for its manifestation, for its because because Arjuna is saying, you are saying Udasin what? I cannot accept that you're indifferent to your inacts such as creation. Yeah. So the he's further is explaining, oh, I am. It happens through me only. He is making one more statement like that. That Maya Dakshina Prabhu. Suyate Sachar. Everything happens in my supervillains, in my according to my will. I is the one. I am the one who makes it happen. Through my different through different medium. So Prabhupada writes a purport, which is almost we have to read the entire purport. Uh, yeah, read bro.
It is clearly stated here that the Supreme Lord, although aloof from all the activities of the material world, remains the Supreme Director. The Supreme Lord is the Supreme Will and the background of this material manifestation, but the management is being conducted by material nature. The father gives seeds to the womb of the mother for the child, and similarly, the Supreme Lord, by his merry glance, injects all the living entities into the womb of material nature, and they come out in their different forms and species according to their last desires and activities. All these living entities, although born under the glance of the Supreme Lord, take their different bodies according to their past deeds and desires. So the Lord is not directly attached to this material creation. He simply glances over material nature. Material nature is thus activated and everything is created immediately. Because he glances over material nature, there is undoubtedly activity on the part of the Supreme Lord, but he has nothing to do with the manifestation of the material world directly. This example is given in the Smriti. When there is a fragrant flower before someone, the fragrance is touched by the smelling power of the person. Yet the smelling and the flower are detached from one another. There is a similar connection between the material world and the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Actually, he has nothing to do with this material world, but he creates by his glance and ordains. In summary, material nature, without the superintendence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, cannot do anything. Yet the Supreme Personality is detached from all material activity.
Yeah. So, so Prabhupada actually is telling, Prabhupada is writing that as if just a minute. So Prabhupada is writing that Lord is Lord is still, he is a director, right? So when you go in any form, the director is there, but you don't meet the director. You see all the execution is done by the managers appointed by the director. Mhm. Same way, the manager in this material world is who? Maya Devi, and he remains the director. Under his direction only things happens. But but he is, you know, but he is not involved into it personally. He just tells, and the managers under and the Lord, the managers under Krishna is so expert that they know the wish of the Lord and they do it. So, so you know, it's been said that like I suppose an analogous example is given, to explain the Krishna's word over here, like uh, the governmental business, that the managerial business of the kings, like Amrish, is carried out by his ministers, while the uninvolved king merely remains present. All the same, unless the king is present on his throne, the ministers are incapable of doing anything. In the same way, Krishna says, till the point I don't give my support as a supervisor, material energy cannot do anything. So specifically, we are using the word for king as Amrish. Amrish Maharaj is a devotee. You know, he has that category of, he has these qualities. That's what he's saying. So as a normal king does not just, you know, yeah, does not uh, just directs, you know, they control, no, they exert control to a very large degree. So that is why Vishnu Chakra Thakur also, mentions the same way, that the Lord actually, if he is not there, actually Prakriti can't do anything. Although Prakriti is powerful, like the minister is powerful, but the minister can't act without the presence of the king on the throne, right? Na? So it is like, to give an example, it is like the JCB machine is very powerful, right? Na? Very, very powerful. But if the driver is not sitting in the JCB machine, that JCB machine remains as if dead. Same way, the Prakriti is very powerful, you know. But if the Lord is not present within, if the Lord is not supervising it, she cannot function. So, and how does the Lord supervise? From above and through his eyes. Maya adhyaksha aksha. Maya adhi aksha. You know? No. So under my eyes, means I am above, through my eyes means my supervision. Everything is done under Krishna's supervision. So Prabhupada is summarizing and the purport by saying that he glances over the material nature, and there is undoubtedly activity on the part of the Supreme Lord, but he has nothing to do with the manifestation of the material world directly. And gives the example of fragrant flower, how the fragrance and the smelling are different. Then the power of smelling and the fragrance is different. Similarly, the material world and the Supreme Lord is, is there, but the Lord remains completely different from it, indifferent to it, in the sense of, he remains detached from it, and without the superintendence of the Lord, nothing can happen. So I want to show you some important thing. Actually, you surely would have read, 3.22 and 21, the verse number in Bhagavad Gita. It echoes the same thing, because Krishna is actually further explaining his udasin vadvandi characteristic, and he has spoken in 3.22 very nicely. So I'll just show you, you will, the small purport, you will understand how it goes on. So here is 3.22. Yeah. नामे पार्थ अस्ति कर्तव्यं त्रिषु लोकेषु किंचन नाना नानावाप्तम् अवाप्तव्यं वर्त एव च कर्मणि. Read.
Follow.
O son of Pritha, there is no work prescribed for me within all the three planetary systems, nor am I in want of anything, nor have I a need to obtain anything, and yet I am engaged in prescribed duties.
This is what is udasinvat. And this is what now Lord is saying, Maya Dakshina Prakriti. That's why Prabhupada begins the purport by saying, it's not that the Lord has, he says now over here, that is not that he has nothing to do, right? Na? The previous purport he begins like that. It's not that he has nothing to do, he has no engagement. So same way, so over here, Prabhupada he's referring to this particular shloka only. There is no work prescribed for me, that is truth. No one can prescribe any work to him. Nor, but still he acts. Yeah, he acts. Maybe nobody is prescribing work to him, but still I think maybe he wants anything. Oh no, sir, I don't want anything. Okay, um, okay, you may not want anything, you may not be, but you might have something need to obtain, maybe, you may not want something for yourself, but you may be in need of something, for some other cause. Not I have a need to obtain anything. ना मेरे को चाहिए, ना मेरे को इच्छा है, ना मेरे को जरूरत है, ना मेरे को इच्छा है. Yet I engage in prescribed duty. So Prabhupada writes over here, uh, he quote this verses from Vedic literature, Swabhaviki Jnana Bala Kriya Cha, and he says over here something. Read, Pro, the Supreme Lord, the reading of these two slokas.
The Supreme Lord is the controller of all other controllers, and he is the greatest of
All.
of all the diverse planetary leaders. Everyone is under his control. All entities are delegated with particular powers only by the Supreme Lord. They are not supreme themselves. He is also worshipable by all demigods and is the supreme director of all directors. Therefore, he is the transcendental he is transcendental to all kinds of material leaders and controllers, and is the worshipable by all. There is no one greater than him, and he is the supreme cause of all causes.
And then he
He
says about this Natasya Kara. Okay, read. He does not possess.
does not possess a bodily form like that of an ordinary living entity. There is no difference between his body and his soul. He is absolute. All his senses are transcendental. Any one of his senses can perform the action of any other sense. Therefore, no one is greater than him or equal to him. His potencies are multifarious, and thus his deeds are automatically performed as a natural sequence.
Yeah. And then he says, since everything is in full opulence and the positive word is existing in full truth, there is no duty for the Supreme to perform. One must receive the result of work, results of the work as some designated duty, but one has nothing to achieve within the three. But one who has nothing to achieve within the three-planet system certainly has no duty. Yet Krishna engages in the battlefield of Kurukshetra as a leader of the Kshatriyas because the Kshatriyas are duty bound to give protection to the distressed. Although he is above all the regulations of revealed scripture, he does not do anything that violates the revealed scriptures. That's the meaning. He does his duty, and, and he never breaks his duty, never breaks the statements of revealed scripture, because revealed scripture says the jivas have free will and Lord does not interfere, the Lord never interferes. You know, that's the way it is, it goes on. So this is what is the thrust of this particular over here, that Maya dakshena prakriti suyate sacharacharam hetuanena kaunteya jagatruti vartate. He is very clearly saying uh, that how that happens. So uh, he is actually further over here saying that see, I am the efficient cause. You know, there are other causes also. There are material cause. There's efficient cause. There is a also the ultimate immediate cause. You know it anyhow. So he's a efficient cause, and Prakriti is a material cause. You know, so no. Like I gave you the example of the minister Amrish Maharaj. The ministers becomes the material cause, and the Amrish Maharaj acts like an efficient cause. Or if you talk about the pot, then the pot is yeah, of the mud. So mud becomes the material cause. The potter becomes the efficient cause. You know? So the Lord is the cause in that way. And one way you can say he is the cause of all causes also. So he's the efficient cause also, his material cause also, his nimitta, his upadan, all the causes is he in one way. But he remains aloof. This is something which is very extraordinary on the part of the Lord. So he makes it things happens, but he is not involved into it. Now, so uh, you know, being the doer and being neutral are not contradictory. You know, that's it. Being the doer and being neutral are not contradictory because the Lord rules by proximity only. You know, so he rules how this material by his glance. You know, that's why. So he being the doer and being neutral are not contradictory for the Lord because he has a rule. What is the rule? By proximity only I manifest or adhyakshata of the material world I do. You know, whereas in the spiritual world, he himself gets involved into it, right? Now. So that's where is a very big difference. So Krishna actually, um, Krishna actually over here in 9.10, he is stating that uh, see uh, because somebody he says over here very clearly that see we uh, he said that we should know we should put the faith in a way that no the faith the logic becomes subordinate to the faith. See, faith requires, some people may say, faith requires, uh, you know, rejection of the logic. No, no, no. Faith requires not the rejection of the logic, has been said, but it requires, no, in line, the logic to be in line with the faith. Or you say, the logic should be subordinate to the faith. So while the Lord is over here speaking over here these things that although I do it, but I am not here. So so it is it's a very beautiful thing. See, many people say faith in God, you know, requires believing illogical things such as he lifting Govardhan mountain. Uh, so faith in God actually does not require negating of logic, but it requires very surely that a logic should become subordinate to the faith. Logic is not the highest standard for understanding complete reality. Even in science it doesn't happen. Even in science it doesn't happen. What to say about the spirituality? Science has to renounce its adherence to logic, where in quantum physics. I was referring to some articles of Chaitanya Charan Prabhu where he wrote very beautiful. I was very happy with it. That's why I'm presenting to you over here. Because these na contradictory qualities which the Lord is saying, we might लॉजिक नहीं बैठता है, ऐसा कैसे हो सकता है? अरे हो सकता है, क्योंकि हर चीज नो लॉजिक शुड बिकम सबऑर्डिनेट टू द फेथ. No, not that a logic, and logic becomes like if the logic fits, then only faith will develop. So, I'm giving, he gives the example of, science also has to give up his adherence to logic in quantum physics. It's been said that, if any of your physics student very well doing undergrads or postgrads in that, you can understand very clearly. What the quantum physics is, where matter dissolves into the waves, in the absence of an observer, then because this a matter dissolves into waves, you know this this is what quantum comes into it, because over there everyone in the science field, this is Albert Einstein, he underscored this illogical implication of quantum physics. That's why he said, I like to think that the moon is there even if I am not looking at it. So, nonetheless, although it doesn't make much sense, it doesn't make any logic, but everyone embraces, every scientist embraces this particular fact. So, so in fact, even they make the universe incomprehensibility as a scientific principle. So one of the atheists, he spoke this statement. Not only is the universe very curious than we suppose, it's curious uh, than we can suppose. He says this. Not only is the universe curious than we suppose, it is curious than we can suppose. मतलब हम जितना सोच भी सकते हैं, उससे भी ज्यादा ये क्यूरियर है, इससे भी ज्यादा एक बहुत हायर चीज है. So if material scientists can see the subordination of logic as a tribute to the universe, then why can't we, being devotees, called as spiritual scientists, have a similar subordination as tribute to the creator of the universe? Why we should demand from a spiritual scientist or a devotee a greater devotion to logic than what is demanded from material scientists? So one has to be know no, one has to know that then so the Lord is very clearly, in saying that one who is anusuya way, or one who is non-envious, or you can say one who is open-minded, you know he he can understand Bhagavad Gita very properly. So Krishna is declaring that he is the ultimate overseer of the nature, and is indeed of everything is overseer, including the logic. He has set up the nature to ordinarily function according to a logical order, but he can, in his in some extraordinary situations, he can suspend those logic by his omnipotence. So, seen in this slide, Krishna's logic defying many feats that he does, like over here also been said, Das, but Maya Dakshina, although we should know it is not that that not is it is not impossible for the Lord. The Lord can can straight also. He can do anything. He can break the logic what he has developed for the creation of the world, and or can maintain the logic. So we should try to understand in this way the scriptures. I hope you are understanding what I mean to say to you all. How many of you are able to understand what I am? Okay, what did anybody like to say? What did you understood? Questions later. Do you have a question, Kaushik? Or
No, Proji. What you said. Yeah.
okay.
So, so Proji, you told that logic should be subordinate to the faith. And you gave the example of material scientists that in quantum physics, there are some phenomena which are happening which cannot be explained by logic. So the scientists have also embraced the fact that in that cases their logic is getting subordinate, means they are not able to explain this phenomena by their normal logic. So they have also embraced this fact. So similarly, we being devotees, why can't we accept this fact that logic to be subordinate to the faith for the creator who has created the universe? And then you told that the Krishna, the supreme personality of Godhead, in extraordinary circumstances can break his own logic or his own order which he has created. This you have told.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. So, no. Anybody else like to say something? What did you understood? समझ में आया या समझ में तो आया होगा ना साइंस के स्टूडेंट है हम लोग बहुत समझ में बट दिस इज वेरी आई स्पेसिफिकली यू मे से दैट इस कॉन्टेक्स्ट में क्या है बट ये बहुत कॉन्टेक्चुअल है दैट्स व्हाई आई एम स्पीकिंग इट ओवर हियर आई रेफर टू दिस आर्टिकल ऑफ Chaitanya Charanpur you would have understood the way I'm using the word it is very clear that he was the right that I'm just paraphrasing it and in summary I told you so faith requires not the rejection of logic but its subordination. That is why we say devotional intelligence means I first put faith in what the Shastra says, and then I put my logic behind it to prove it. That is devotional intelligence. And then other intelligence is also of different type. I will keep the faith in the scripture when my logic fits into it. Else, Haribol, chhod do. It doesn't, maybe it is not so. So that's not devotional intelligence. So this is so whenever Krishna says such contradictory statement, I am there, but I am not there. I am I I only do it, but I don't do it. I remain detached. I still have affection, but I am udasinavat. This all is possible for him. He does it. That is why he and these understanding other religion doesn't have. At least I can say about Christianity, they don't have. you know, and Abrahamic religion, both Islam and they you ask them, they get into all, they will give all kind of answers. They actually they don't have answer. They can't give a very clear cut because inconceivability, or inconceivability in in the Lord actually is very difficult for many religion to talk about it because then it requires a higher faith. So Krishna, over here coming back to what our flow is going on to. Do you have any questions, anyone? Oh yeah, Rohit too.
Yes, Praji. Praji, wanted to confirm, for the point that the logic should be subordinate to the faith. So, for example, there is one explanation of Chaitanya Charitamrita I have seen for for one point which many of the outside people they say that in scripture or in Bhagavatam it is written that moon is farther than the sun. So
Hmm.
for that, Chaitanya Charanpur gave explanation, like if you see from a 2D perspective, then when the scripture is mentioning about further than the sun, it's not about the displacement distance. What it tells about is the moon is higher and sun is lower. So he graphically show that earth is in the middle. Then in the horizontal axis, sun is rotating and the vertical axis moon is rotating. So moon becomes a
Hmm.
higher so distant. So basically, we just change our perspective. The frame of reference, we changed it, and we made a valid logic to prove that point. So when we say that
Hmm.
logic is subordinate to the faith, so are
Hmm.
we saying it in these terms? Like in this way, it should be. We need to make it subordinate, and then we should have faith.
No, no. First, we should have faith.
Okay, yeah, understood.
So,
Yeah.
see, I agree that we are beginners in bhakti. So some when things are presented logically, we develop faith. I agree with it. But higher than this is this that we first put faith in the statements of Shastras. We understand the Shastras very properly. We may refer to many other Shastras to understand a particular statement, as the example that you are quoting over here about the moon distance. That has to be understood. That properly understanding we have to get from the various scriptures. If we one scripture does not one statement where which you read does not make you're not able to comprehend. Okay, but have faith. The Shastras have said something, it has to be true. Now, now let me figure it out how it can happen. So let me research out, right? Now it has to go in that way ideally. For us, yeah, for us and for people below you, when you speak, you have to speak in a logical way for them to develop faith. But no, but higher than that, there is that person has faith, and now to prove that faith, now to make it very clearly, वो इतना समझा, देखो बोला गया ना वो सही है, अभी कैसे सही है ये फिगर आउट कर लेते हैं. That's the way. Right? Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
that leads to Shastriya Shraddha. And you will find out that what Shaiva Shastra says, if we go deeper into it, we refer, we ask, no, we'll be able to figure it out that yes, everything what has been said as a quotation and it requires surely a deeper study of Shastra. Shastras are not blind. Right? Okay. We'll move ahead
Yes,
here.
sir.
Yeah, yeah. So this is what Maya Dakshin Prati Suyate Sacharacharam. Hetu Ananda Konte Jagat Vipravartate. Lord has said, and uh, you know, he's he's now, but he will say there are some fellows. There are some fellows who does not, you know, they are no, they don't believe on it. They not believe that I am. They will consider they believe in the Lord, but not in his human like form, because they will say, how is this possible in human like form? It is not possible. He has taken some. He is an ordinary human. He takes a human or like form. But no, this is not possible. They deride the form of the Lord. So there are different types of worshippers of Krishna. One category of is this. Begins with this the 11th and 12th, where they are not able to put faith that the Lord actually is uh, he is he himself is doing it, or he takes a form. He takes a material form, because the question surely will come that why do people not worship you if you have such great power? So the Krishna is giving this reason, the 11th one, because there are some fellows, they think my form to be as an ordinary material form, who is having some mystical power. That is why they don't worship me, and they may worship something else. So now he says over here, okay, the next verse he says over here, that's Avajananti, a very famous verse. Avajananti mamura manusim tanumashritam param bhavam ajananto mama bhuta maheshwaram. Translation.
The human, they do not they do not know my transcendental nature as the supreme lord of all that be.
फिर से पढ़ेंगे क्या? आधा ही सुनाई दिया. Fools deride me.
Fools deride me when I descend in the human form. They do not know my transcendental nature as the supreme lord of all that be.
So they believe that, hey, ये तो मानुषिम तनुमाश्रितम, you know. That's the problem. Okay, read the purport. Huge purport.
From the other explanations of the previous verses in this chapter, this, it is clear that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, although appearing like a human being, is not a common man. The Personality of Godhead, who conducts the creation, maintenance, and annihilation of the complete cosmic manifestation, cannot be a human being. Yet there are many foolish men who consider Krishna to be merely a powerful man and nothing more.
Hmm. So there are people like that actually who will say, uh, who will actually, who they don't believe, you know that this can happen. And they will say that you know they will start saying that probably that he is the Lord of all being in this eternal human form, not knowing, then they don't understand that his original spiritual form is a pure Brahman, higher than all else. They deride him, and they consider that we say he has a human-like form, but but other people say that he is some extraordinary human itself, not more than that. And that is why he is trying. There was one boy actually who met me on in Janmashtami on the stall, no? Voice stall. He was saying us in this way only. Probably Krishna is some extraordinary human only. Why we treat him to be as a god? I told him about Samasya, Samagrasya, and he has six opulences, who which you are not simultaneously 100%. No, that too scripture says. You have seen. Then that's that kind of thing was anyhow later went. So there are people who say he's a normal human with some extraordinary power. Then, so over here, Prabhupada is mentioning that very clearly that some people they can't figure it out. It creation, destruction, annihilation is a normal human being who can do. Then, he he talks about the Brahma Samhita, Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha, and then read over here. Prabhupada explains more material bodies.
Material bodies cannot perform the wonderful acts described in previous verses. His body is eternal, blissful, and full of knowledge. Although he is not a common man, the fools deride him and consider him to be a man. His body is called here Manushim because he is acting just like a man, a friend of Arjuna's, a politician involved in the battle of Kurukshetra.
Continue in so many ways.
In so many ways, he is acting just like an ordinary man, but actually his body is Sachidananda Vigraha, Brahma Samhita 5.1, eternal bliss and knowledge absolute. This is confirmed in the Vedic language also, Sachidananda Rupaya Krishnaya. I offer my obeisances unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, who is the eternal blissful form of knowledge. Gopal Tapani Upanishad. There are other descriptions in Vedic language also. Some may come Govinda. You are the Govinda, the pleasure of the senses and the cows. Sachidananda Vigraham. And your form is transcendental, full of origin, bliss, and eternity.
Yeah. So Prabhupada is quoting many verses. Now, first he quoted Ishvara Paramakrishna. Then he's quoting, this Satchidananda Rupaya Krishnasya. Then from Gopal Tapani Upanishad. Then he's also Tam Ekam Govindam. And so Satchidananda Vigraham. So Prabhupada is using, is quoting these many verses to say that his human-like form is not like of an ordinary human. He's Satchidananda Vigraha. Prabhupada is is refuting these people who somehow believe that he is just a normal human with extraordinary power. So, and then Prabhupada, writes about, his extraordinary power. How the scholars, and commentators they deride the Lord. Read over here. There are many scholars.
There are many so-called scholars and commentators of Bhagavad Gita who deride Krishna as an ordinary man. The scholar may be born an extraordinary man due to previous good work, but his conception of Sri Krishna is due to a poor fund of knowledge. Therefore, he is called Muda, for only foolish persons can consider Krishna to be an ordinary human being.
Huh. So yeah. So the foolish consider they are not human because they do not know the confidential activities of the Supreme Lord and his different energies. Right now, they do not know. See, and now Prabhupada is saying why these people they act foolishly in terms of believing that he's an extraordinary human only, not the Lord. Because they can't understand. Prabhupada is giving first. He is writing that they because of their poor fund of knowledge. Right now, what is that poor fund of knowledge? because their poor fund of knowledge is there because they do not know how the confidential activities of the Lord and his different energies happens. You know, read now. They do not know that Krishna's body.
They do not know that Krishna's body is a symbol of complete knowledge and bliss, that he is the proprietor of everything that be, and that he can award liberation to anyone. Because they do not know that Krishna has so many transcendental qualities, they deride him. Nor do they
So they
know,
deride him. They deride him because of lack of knowledge. Second, what not they?
nor do they
Nor
know
they?
that the appearance of nor do they know that the appearance of Supreme Personality of Godhead in this material world is a manifestation of his internal energy. He is the master of the material energy. If a soul
Hmm.
surrendered to Krishna can get out of the influence of material energy, then how can the Supreme Lord, who conducts the creation, maintenance, and annihilation of the whole cosmic nature, have a material body like us? So, this conception of Krishna is complete foolishness. Foolish persons, however, cannot conceive that the personality of Godhead, Krishna, appearing just like an ordinary man, can be the controller of all the atoms, the gigantic manifestation of the universal form. The biggest and the minutest are beyond their conception, so they cannot imagine that a form like that of a human being can simultaneously control the infinite and the minute. Actually, although he is controlling the infinite and the finite, he is apart from all this manifestation. It is clearly stated concerning his Yogam Aishwaram, his inconceivable transcendental energy, that he can control the infinite and the finite simultaneously, and that he can remain aloof from them. Although the foolish cannot imagine how Krishna, who appears just like a human being, can control the infinite and the finite, those who are pure devotees accept this, for they know that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. Therefore, they completely surrender unto him and engage in Krishna consciousness, devotional service of the Lord.
Yeah. So Prabhupada is writing many reasons why these people cannot comprehend that comprehend that he has Satchidananda Rupam. He's not just like an extraordinary human, you know. They can't come because of. Can you now figure it out? What all Prabhupada is writing the reasons? Anyone of you tell? What reasons Prabhupada is writing that they can't, because of which they can't comprehend? Let's see how much you are attentive in reading. Hmm.
Guruji, one thing
Yeah.
Prabhupada told that if the finite living entities by taking shelter of the Lord can come out of the clutches of material energy, then why cannot Lord, who is the creator, annihilator, and maintainer of this world, have a material body? Why can he have? This is foolish conception. And they think, how
Hmm.
can a human being who have a limited form can control the finite and infinite? So this is
Hmm.
one.
Okay. Okay. Something else? Prabhupada writes more about it.
Also, like in his wonderful activities, material body cannot perform so many wonderful activities, and
Mhm.
also the
Which
birth,
wonderful activities? Which wonderful activity specifically?
like here specifically, like his birth. He told about his birth, and also the maintenance and creation. Yes.
Yeah. And also his controlling of his finite and infinite simultaneously. Right, na? Somebody can control finite, okay. But he's simultaneously infinite. Either what it is, he can. He is it's possible for him. So this is not known to them. They can't understand that he is the master of a micro world and a macro world simultaneously. Right, na? Any other reason? Prabhupada talks about that that is why they are not able to comprehend. They don't know. What else he says? One, the beginning he said there's a poor fund of knowledge. Their poor fund of knowledge is shown in many these ways. Uh, and neither they know the appearance of the Supreme Personality of God in this material world, the manifestation of internal energy, and he's a master of the material energy. You know, the Mamma Maya Durattaya. So they don't know that appearance of the Lord. And now, but regarding the appearance, more will be said, in this particular uh, purport of Prabhupada only. He'll explain it. I'll not get into it. I'll keep it in a I will complete this purport in the next class. It's a very beautiful purport. It will take some more time. You have any questions? Till now what we have done, you can ask. Else we end. Nothing? Okay. So, my request is this purport, you read it once by your own before you come for the next week class. That will be very good. The huge purport, where Prabhupada explains about his Janma head. And that's why many people get into issues. So read it and come. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.